viewpoint.
Kenale mansong ya fanyele mansong mene yo sabu dinne wa muntalati limbe fote nyaka sikana la mola kumala ibina dunnante ni te makan ko dindi nyola bi mol nyata no lon kakal nyo fulote mo jeti mi yari bejelela foi sa tol ko yanni ngoy nyaka sikumala la ye nyalo ila
from the University of the Gambia and served as the 19th executive president of the Students' Union. Following her undergraduate studies, she assumed the role of Communication and Programs Officer at the Center for Policy, Research and Strategic Studies until March 2023. At that point, she transitioned to the National Nutrition Agency, NANA, as a communication officer under the Office of the Vice President, where she is presently employed. Danso demonstrates a profound commitment to literature, evidenced by her numerous accolades in public speaking, debating, and youth empowerment of young individuals, with a particular focus on females. By fostering self-confidence and delivering training sessions in civic leadership, public speaking, debate, and career development programs. This is our first speaker, which is Ms. Mariama Danso. So, ladies and gentlemen, we give a round of applause for Ms. Mariama Danso to come on stage.
To you all. First, I must confess I'm really impressed and I'm really honored to be here because I came not only meeting the students, but I met people that I've shared classes with, people that I've shared moments with at the university, and that for me is truly inspiring. Anyway, I tested the waters. I taught for a while, but I had to run away because it was too stressful. I could not take it. But seeing people that have been here for the longest only shows that they have love for country, they have love for the passion, and have love for the job that they're doing. So I must say, you are the great minds that are trying to shape the future of this country. The likes of Jamha, Mr. Diallo, Mr. Baji, Suleiman, and the others that I've met here really showed that we have people that are really committing towards national development. To start with, I want to say self-discipline is the bridge between your goals and how you accomplish it. Like Mr. Kohli just hinted you guys, that is to say, this goes beyond following just the rules and the regulations that the school is providing. If you are disciplined as a person, you're doing it for yourself, not for any other person. And to just give you a context of what I'm trying to say is, every morning from Monday to Friday, we all leave our parents, right, to say we are going to school. Our mothers don't know if we are in school or not, right? So it's up to us to show up in the school or not show up at all. But it takes what to be here? Discipline. Because I have to wake up early in the morning to prepare myself to come to school. Because that is a process that you have to go through to be able to get to the stage that you want to be in your life. So that is basically what it would mean in that context. Now, to also send regards to the principal, the vice principal, teaching and non-teaching staff, students of Kairaba Senior Secondary School, invited schools, and all other protocols that are duly and respectfully observed in the school. I want to start by asking you a question, which is, what do you think set apart achievers from dreamers? The only difference is making sure as you're dreaming, you work towards achieving that dream. That is the difference between achievers and dreamers. As long as you keep thinking of issues and don't work towards it, it stays in your mind. But once you start working towards it, you are in a process of achieving something from that. Now, to go on to say, self-discipline is often linked to a muscle. The more you exercise, the stronger it becomes. It is the ability to control your impulses, stay focused on your goal, and persevere in the face of challenges. I would like to take a pause at this point. Let's pay attention to three things that I have said. One, which is to control your impulses. We all know school starts at 8 o'clock, right? Nobody comes here after 9, 10, or 11. If you do that, you know you are wrong in the first place, except if you have a genuine reason to come after that time. And also, when it's time to close to go home, nobody forces you to leave the school, right? Because you know that is in your interest. So it calls for self-discipline to be able to know when to do things and when to stop. And in order for you to be able to do that, you should be able to control the things that influence the decisions that you take in your life. And that is where the greatest challenges in our lives currently. The bridge between teenagehood to adulthood is one of the most difficult moments for most of us, because this is where we have the greatest forms of distractions: our phones, the society, social media, peer influence, the pressure that comes from the very unrealistic world that we want to live in. What do I mean by this? The school rule says do not come to school with your phones. Some of us put it in our bras. Some of us put it in the middle of books. Some of us would always find a way to hide those things, because you know why? We are a distracted society, and that is the truth. Unless and until, as young people, we are ready to make sure we put our priorities in order, it would always be a problem to fight in between what your priority is at this moment in your life and what is not your priority at this moment in your life. I'm sure you all are exposed to TikTok, right? And for the most part of what you see is people would be in classes with their phones taking videos. You know why? Because we all want to belong. And that in psychology is called conformity. We all want to conform to a certain standard. We all want to be what we call the civilized people. To the point of even making sure you push your parents or push for situations that you know you cannot afford. Because what happens is, if you start to measure your life against the lives of others, you're always in constant competition with people. Fatu has 3 bags when she comes to school. Manage with the one you have. That is what your parents can afford. But you want to make sure you're also able to change your bags every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks. It pushes you into conditions where you will always find a means of making sure you're able to get the 3rd bag or a 2nd bag. How you get it is not the problem, right? But you want to make sure it comes. These are all forms of discipline that you need to put in yourself as you grow. Another thing is to make sure how we do away with pressure, making sure that in as much as you want to adapt to the good things, it's important you learn from the good ones. Mr. X comes to school at 9 o'clock, nothing comes out of it. I'm also going to start to come to school at 9 o'clock. That is not a good principle to adapt to. What you do is you aspire to be the best. And in being the best, you look out for those that you think at least are a step ahead of you in terms of that nature. You follow that footstep. Sometime back in 2014, 2015, 2013 to be specific, I was in your position. But I can tell you this, till date, I still have questions that I could not find answers for. And for most of the teachers sitting right in front of you, if you ask them, teaching was never priority number 1. But sometimes, some circumstances would come your way that would push you to go in for what is available at that particular moment. Now, what I'm driving at is this. For our education system is in such a way that for countries like Senegal, for example, once you sit to the WAS exams once, they have a threshold. If you cannot make it, the school gives you another chance to resit to that exams again. But in the Gambia, right before the exams, we filter the list. You guys know what I'm talking about. For the most part, at grade 11 third term, you should be able to know whether you qualify for the WAS or not. Now, that is the first attempt for most of us. Some people try it once and they'll get it right. You know why? Because they put their priorities in order. But for some of us, we'll have to give ourselves a second chance. And that, in order for you to achieve that second chance, which in most cases is difficult for a lot of us to achieve, because I know something. A lot of our parents cannot afford private WAS because it's expensive. So because now you have school is free, the government is paying for you, you have teachers at your disposal, you have all the time in the world. These are great people that are trying to nurture, to shape your future. Make sure you make the best of it. When the school rule says come to school by 8 o'clock, you make sure you're here by 8 o'clock. When it's 1:50 or 2, by most of the time, head home. Once you get home, get to do your chores. If it's time for you to read your books, pick them up. Stop looking at what Fatu is doing or what Binta is doing, because you know why? It's going to cause you trouble along the way. Growing up, I came from a very humble background. When I wanted to go to the university, my parents could not afford it. This was not because I did not pass, but because they could not afford it. You know what I did? I knew scholarship was the only way out. And in order to get scholarship, there are two things involved. It's either your father knows somebody in the government or your results get you there. My father does not know anybody in the government. I knew my results is what would get me the scholarship. So I walked towards it because at that time, that was my priority. So self-discipline, the first basic principle you should ask yourself is, which house am I from? What is my background? What are my parents expecting from me? And how do I make sure that day that I come to pick my WAS results or that day that I leave the school, you could comfortably go back to your house to look at them in their face and say, this is my hard work. But in order for that to happen, the work starts now. You cannot put a seed today and harvest it tomorrow. It takes a lot of process. First, you need to put the water, you need to put the manure, you need to make sure you take care of it, nurture the tree to a point where it could be able to gain you something. And none of us go to the shop to buy something that the shopkeeper is not selling. What do I mean by that? You cannot go to a mango tree to get a banana. It does not work like that. And we all know it. So in order for us to be able to push in that sense of self-discipline in us, the old English saying is cut your coat according to your size. And in cutting your coat according to your size is to make sure you seal your eyes from looking at what others have that you don't have. This is the first point of distraction as a community. The other thing is our mobile phones. This is the second greatest source of distraction our generation is suffering from. Because look at it, for a person that cannot stay away from the phone from 8 o'clock to 1 o'clock, just within that short period, you cannot stay away from it to the point you find ways of sneaking in it in school, you have a problem. You have a problem. Because it means your phone is now controlling your life. Because think about it, that little time, because even during exams, during WAS, they'll tell people, do not come with your phones to school. People still come with their phones to school. That means we cannot marry off our phones. We cannot get off our phones. Then there is a problem. And with the phone, there are two things involved. It either makes you or break you. And we don't pray for anything like that to happen. So this first chance that you have in the school, where the government at least is putting efforts to take care of your needs financially, what do you have to owe them? And every time we come to the assembly ground, we sing the national anthem. But do we take our time to listen to the words properly and understand what it means? You said for the Gambia, our homeland. You said we walk, we pray. How do you make sure when what the government is doing, you complement it at your level? That is to ensure that you make best use of the opportunities and the resources you have right now. Now, beyond that, we look at what we call time management. Now, with the issue of time management, I want us to look at time beyond 9 o'clock, 7 o'clock. Time management in ensuring that you plan your life. When you started school with people in your primary school, there are others that are no longer in school, right? As you move to junior school, you realize the number gets down. You know some people, as you move, you realize they're no longer with you. As you move a step further to senior secondary school, a lot of us start losing the grip. And I'm telling you this, once you leave these walls of the school, once the realities of this country start hitting your face, you wake up in the morning and you don't even know where to go, then you would understand that the place that I had, the one opportunity that I had to plan my life is right now. So make best use of these moments. Make best use of these individuals seated right in your presence, because they are going to be the ones to help you get to that point. At this point, if you are in grade 10, by now I'm hoping that you should be at least able to say, okay, this is what I want to be, or this is who I want to be. In an event that does not work, you say, okay, for instance, I want to be a nurse. If I can't be a nurse, or I want to be a public health officer. If I cannot be a public health officer, at least this is plan B. I would be this. So what do? When you're in class, you start working your mind to accept that reality, that this is who I want to be, and you start working towards it. So that way, because the mind is so powerful, what you attract is what reflects on your actions and the decisions you take. So if you know nursing is what I want to do, academically, you work towards it, but also you start training yourself to accept that nursing is what I want to do. But also, one thing is very important we pay attention to. Sometimes you may say, this is what I want to be, but your realities may differ. An instance could be, I know instances where people had the results, but the families don't have the resources to take them to school to further that specific career path that they have chosen. Like me, for example, initially what I wanted to be and how the situation turned out is different. When I was heading to school, literature has always been my priority, my passion. But then when I went to school, I started the university and I started teaching as an unqualified teacher. When your type started knocking me on the sides with a lot of work, marking scripts and stuff, I realized this is difficult. But again, I did not give up. And even when it comes to still trying to pursue that part of me, I make sure I did what we call a SWOT analysis. Now, a SWOT analysis is an S, double, O, T of your situation. Now, an S is what your strength is. What can you do best? And I realized for me, talking is not a problem. I know that is my strength. Then I said, okay, what is my weakness as a person? What is that one thing that you know? Come rain, come sunshine, you cannot do it. I looked around and I was able to figure out what my weakness was. So when I realized this was my weakness, I said, okay, what opportunities do I have lined up for me as an individual? So I saw media was one. I saw communication was there. I saw teaching was still a possibility. So I knew these were the opportunities I had at that particular moment. But in order for me to be able to make best use of my opportunities, what were my threats at that time? So I looked around as well and realized at that time, media was not very friendly, because when Jammeh was around, there are certain things I'm saying now, I dare not say it. So I realized that is a threat, because I wanted to be into the media to be able to freely express myself. But then I realized, okay, a lot of heads have rolled. A lot of people have been forced to leave this country. Is that the life that I wanted to live at that time? I decided, you know what? Let me go into something that is at least not the preferred, but is what is available at that moment. Now, what am I driving at is this. When you leave this place, I want you to pay attention to this part of my conversation. Start analyzing yourselves. What can I do best? Get number one. What is the second thing I can do if this is not available? That is priority number two. In an event A and B does not work, what is my C? Put them in that order. Go further to say, okay, if I want to read nursing, can my parents afford it? If yes or no, you would know. Other than that, okay, if my parents cannot afford it, what can I do at my level right now is to make sure I start working hard to make sure that at least the grades do it for me. If you're able to figure yourself out in that regard, you work hard. That way, even when the results come out, our parents are very grateful people. You know what they'll say? Aya katale, try na. Results ya bahud, why try na? Because you know why? They see you take the action. So start now. It's never too late. That is what I am going to tell you. And also, still on one thing that is very important, make sure you customize your life to the best of your ability in terms of your realities as well. We all come from different homes. When we wake up in the morning, someone is giving $100 for lunch for just one day. That is your 3 days. So if you come to class and you want to compare yourself with that person, you're going to have a problem. So that is why it's important as individuals, whenever we take decisions, we make sure we reflect on the places we are from, the people that believe in us, and how we ensure that distraction, we are able to do away with it. I know I've taken much of your time, but just these few things before I leave. First off, learn to set your priorities right. And by setting your priorities right, know what works best for you as a person and what does not. For some people, studying at night is the best they can do. And for others, they cannot study at night. Even if you try it, it will not work. You know what? You'll be there, you'll be sluggish, you'll be slumbering. If the night does not work for you, make sure that day that you are active, you don't spend it on TikTok, on the cars, car amna. Let's forget that and you work on yourselves. At this point, the only car that you should be paying attention to is your lives. So as important as that is the only way you will be able to figure yourselves out. And point number 3, respect is one thing that puts you in order. You see, as a person, if you lack that sense of self-discipline, even in school, once you are used to coming to school late all the time, even when you start working, you'll go to work late. Because you know why? Psychologically, you have already convinced yourself that I can never be at a place before the time. I can never be at a place before the time. And I'll tell you this, time is something that is very much expensive. Every minute that is lost in your life, you never gain it again. And I'm sure we have others that would wish that they are back in this situation to correct the steps they have taken in life. So make sure, to the best of your abilities, I'll keep referring to these people because teachers made me what I am. So I know what I'm talking about. Make sure you respect this set of people sitting in front of you. You see, a teacher is one of the only set of people other than your parents that want you to prosper and progress beyond what they want you to be. Because you know why? They see themselves in you. So in an event where you don't want to meet with teacher X and you start hiding, make sure your relationship with them is very healthy. And it starts with making sure the little assignments that they give you, you respect it on time. If you cannot do your homework, if you go to your office or whichever workplace you find yourself, you'll keep rabarabaring with your life because that's the mindset that you've already adopted as an individual. Respect time, but work in accordance with your realities. Respect your impulses. Make sure you know when to say no to things. Avoid peer pressure. This person has iPhone X, I must also have it. You don't know what she or he did to get that phone. So make sure you stop looking around for people that you cannot get anything inspiring from. Stop the distraction and make sure you pay attention to your books. I'll tell you this, the reality of this country is things are hard. People with degrees are sitting in their homes. People with degrees are sitting in their homes. They cannot, even internship, 2005, if they have it, they'll take it. And that's the reality. They know what I'm talking about. So the little opportunity that you have to make the best of these moments, seize it. If writing is your problem, start practicing at your own level. You write some things down, take it to your teachers, they will check it. If maths is your problem, look around for that Musa or that Fatu in your class that can do the maths. Make them your friend. I'll give you the secret. You know this whole idea of art students cannot do maths. You know what I'm talking about. I used to believe that. But when I knew that in order for me to get to the university, I need at least a minimum of 5 credits, including English and maths. At some point, I knew English may really not be a problem. But maths was going to be a problem. You know what I did? I befriend the best math student. At some point, Ansumana thought something was wrong with me. I'll go and solve questions. I'll follow him everywhere he is. Ansumana, boy, can I check Libo? I'm like, check it. Because I knew my father cannot afford university fees. My mother cannot afford university fees. But I could at that time, and I worked towards it. And today, I'll give you this simple story. Whenever I receive my pay, before I give anything to my mother, I enjoy myself personally. Because I worked for it. So that is the same thing I'm going to give to you people as well. Once you're able to put these little things together and at least earn a level of financial independence, you have issues and you're able to solve it on your own without disturbing anybody. That fulfillment is worth every struggle right now. So that's the last thing I'm going to say. And then just to give you a short quotation, that is to say, every minute wasted is a minute that is lost forever. Embrace self-discipline. Seize control of this time that you have, for it is the greatest gift you can give yourselves right now. Thank you very much.